back. You're still watching us here on The Breakfast Show. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi returned home on Monday after taking part in the World Energy Summit in the United Arab Emirates. He was on a two-day official visit, and he delivered a key speech to the attendees of the summit. The president said that the world's consumption of energy has doubled over the past 4 decades, with expectations that it will double again by 2050. That was only part of the president's speech. Now we need to shed more light on the visit itself and of course the summit. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi sees participation in the summit as a key speaker, and of course the timing of the summit in addition to other topics that the president tackled in his speech. Therefore, we're very much delighted and honored to have with us Mr. Mohsen El Arishi. He is Deputy Editor-in-Chief of the Egyptian Gazette. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mohsen. First, we want to shed more light on the importance and significance of this visit and the main topics that were tackled during his visit.
First of all, we should consider that Egypt will have the presidency of Arab Summit in March. So ahead of this summit, President Sisi is trying hard to reunite the Arab countries, which, as you see now, are devastated, are well ravaged, with the exception of Arab Gulf countries. So President Sisi is doing his best now, ahead of the Arab Summit, to try to narrow, not to reconcile completely, to narrow Arab differences. So the Arab Summit in Cairo should be more successful than its predecessors. I mean than Arab summits before held in different Arab capitals. So this is what is President Sisi doing now, very hard. And he tries also to put out fires which are erupting everywhere. Yesterday, Yemen is sliding or is plunging into civil war between Shia, Houthis, and the mainstream community, Sunni, yes. So Egypt, which is the most influential country in the region, not in the Middle East, in the region, in Africa, because we have the same threat of civil war in Libya, in Nigeria. So we hope that he will succeed, and we are confident that President Sisi, because of his sincerity and his dedication to the Arab cause, not to Egypt alone, and he stressed that the Arab Gulf security is essential part of Egypt's security, and he said that the Arab Gulf security, or the security in Libya, is red circle. No one should overstep the line. He means that terrorists, militants, or foreign powers which are supporting those people.
Okay. Sima, you're raising a very important point, which is the efforts exerted by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in tackling the regional problems, or the problems taking place in many Arab countries, and how this is affecting Egypt and the role of Egypt as a regional power in this regard. How do you see the upcoming period witnessing cooperation between Egypt and Gulf countries?
Yeah, but we should, before answering this very important question, we should take into our consideration that President Sisi is stressing or is campaigning for security, economy, investments, yes, for the benefits of both sides.
Exactly.
For Egypt and for Arab Gulf countries, and he always, and also Arab Gulf countries, royal families in Arab Gulf countries, always say that as long as Egypt is strong and is fighting for the Arab cause, Arab Gulf countries will be safe. So, and here we see in Egypt here, President Sisi doesn't concern himself with the political issues here. He said that, for example, for the parliament election, that no candidates should represent the presidential palace under his tenure. This means that President Sisi wants to establish or re-establish strong Egypt, this will echo very fruitfully and very productively, if I can say that, in the Arab Gulf countries, also in the different Arab Algeria, Libya, Morocco, because if Egypt falls, and this was stressed by Arab Gulf states, if Egypt falls, like doom theory, all Arab countries will fall.
Okay, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi yesterday was the main speaker in the World's Future Energy Summit in Abu Dhabi. How do you read his speech?
Frankly speaking, what attracted my attention in his speech, his statement that the Arab world is undergoing self-made destruction, not political change, as we were told before. I mean the Arab Spring, they promoted or marketed or exported the Arab Spring to promote democracy in this area. But President Sisi yesterday openly and sincerely said that this is not democratic or political changes. We are destroying ourselves by our own hands and by our own money. And that's why he said this statement, this very important statements during the World Energy Summit, because the Arab oil was used for destroying different Arab countries. I mean the Arab Spring, which is self-made destruction, was financed by Arab oil. So Arabs or Muslims used their oil wealth to finance other Muslims.
I guess that was a clear reference to Qatar.
Exactly, yes, exactly. We should not mention Qatar alone because we should not,
if we're talking about oil.
I mean, yes. But there are other Arab Gulf countries which also maybe on good intention took part in financing militants or opposition, like in Syria, what is happening in Syria. But afterwards, they realized their grave mistake and suspended their financial support to the opposition in Syria because things went out of control. Yes.
Okay. So there were some news reports circulating about a strategic alliance between Egypt and Gulf countries. How do you see this as the editor-in-chief of the Egyptian Gazette?
Sorry, I'm not editor. I'm deputy editor-in-chief
of the Egyptian Gazette.
I think I should remind the viewers that after the defeat of Egyptian army in 1967, it was the late Saudi King Faisal who called upon Arab countries to attend a summit in Khartoum, the Sudanese capital, to lend their unqualified support to Egypt. So Arab Gulf countries, for more than 80 years now, always take the initiative. If Egypt is in a difficult situation, they rushed to help it to rise again more powerful than before, because they understand very well that their security depends entirely on strong Egypt. And everybody now realized that US, which has been considered the biggest ally of Arab Gulf countries, has let down those people by supporting Iran. We should not exclude the possibility that the rapprochement or the talks between the West and Iran over Tehran's nuclear plant are running parallel to what's happening in Yemen. I mean, Iran is giving the green light to expand its influence in the area as long as it will give in to the Western demands concerning
So it's being given the green light by the United States.
of course, by Washington.
And everyone knows that the sanctions imposed on Iran are just a fake play to
and are now being eased to give
But it's not only Iran, sir, it's Israel as well. I mean, there is a nuclear reactor in Israel, and Israel...
This is very important point. I think Israel now stopped its threat to bomb or to launch airstrike on Iran nuclear plants. Last year and over the past 3 years, Israeli Prime Minister used to threaten that.
Yes.
We are determined to launch...
Suddenly stopped.
U.S. said, don't worry, I'm going to conclude this task.
So what are the main threats that face the Gulf region now?
I think the main threats is that, yes, ISIS is knocking at the doors of Arab Gulf countries. About 20 days ago, militants belonging to ISIS tried to cross the Saudi borders, and there was 4 Saudi border guards, including colonel, were killed. And also Jordan is threatened by ISIS in Syria. So the flames of terror are now trying to hit the royal palaces.
So I feel that there are always plans to destabilize the region. Even what's taking place in Yemen, it doesn't seem like a coincidence.
No, yes, you are quite right. You know that if this area of Arab countries are strong, this is not good for the Western interests here. So when oil prices increase, and you know that the money, oil money, is the energy of development, energy of supporting or supplying Arab armies with weapons. So the Western countries always try to conspire to slow down the strong rise of Arab countries, especially Egypt. Under Mubarak, Egypt was running towards we should not talk about economic situation under Mubarak or corruption. This is different story. We are now talking about politics in the region and Egypt's influence in the region. Under Mubarak, Egypt was strong country, influential, and its rule was substantiated during the Gulf War, and U.S. and Western countries appealed to Egypt to send its troops in the Arab Gulf countries, and now we are going back to the overlapping security between Egypt and Arab Gulf countries. Under Saddam Hussein, when Saddam Hussein threatened Kuwait and invaded Kuwait, and also threatened to invade